So what happens if your employer decides to file H-1B for you? Well, first of all, congratulations. That's great news. You probably want to know if you are allowed to stay in the US and/or work while your H-1B is pending. The answer depends on when your OPT will expire. H-1B filing date is typically April 1st. So if your employer files H-1B for you, whether or not you can continue to work depends on if your OPT expires before April 1st or after April 1st. If your OPT expires less than 60 days before your employer files H-1B for you on April 1st, you are not authorized to work past your OPT expiration date. However, your F1 status will be extended until your H-1B begins in October, or until your application is denied or withdrawn, whichever comes first. So you have authorization to stay in the USA while you wait on your H-1B petition, but you do not have authorization to work. But if your OPT expires after April 1st, then you are eligible for extended work authorization under CAP-GAAP. CAP-GAAP is a provision that allows you to continue working on OPT until your H-1B begins on October 1st, or until your application is denied or withdrawn, whichever comes first. If you are eligible, you don't have to apply for CAP-GAAP because it is automatic. However, if your employer requires evidence of your work authorization, you can request an updated I-20 that shows your H-1B CAP-GAAP extension. To request your CAP-GAAP I-20, send OIE a copy of the latest documentation you have received from USCIS about your H-1B petition. For example, a receipt notice, approval notice, or waitlist notice. You will also need to submit the CAP-GAAP extension form and the OPT status maintenance form. You can find links to each of these in the description.